Greetings wonderful audience, Amarjit here from our PTE classes. In today's video, I'm going to perform a live mock test of listening section. So keep your notepad and pen ready along with this video and compare your answers with my answers. In the last, I will share the answers and the score of the listening test. So let's start. These are the modules which are contributing in the listening section. So these three modules are from the speaking section: repeat sentence, retell lecture, then answer short question. After that, summarize spoken text 2, write from dictation. These are the modules from the listening section. So total time period is 63 minutes here. So you can also manage your time according to the way you are performing in the final exam. So let's start. Check your microphone.
Application forms.
It's working. Record your voice. Check your microphone. Check your microphone. It's very important to check your microphone in the starting of the test.
Children enjoy a healthy lifestyle when they live in a healthy family.
Children enjoy a healthy lifestyle when they live in a healthy family.
Researchers have observed that family plays a crucial role in the success of individuals.
Researchers have observed that family play a crucial role in the success of individuals.
The patients were observed over a period of several months.
The patients were observed over a period of several months.
A moderate earthquake struck the United States early on Saturday.
A modern earthquake struck the United States early on Saturday.
Have you talked to your parents about the problems you're having?
Have you talked to your parents about the problems?
The job encompasses a wide range of responsibilities, so it is very challenging.
The job encompasses a wide range of responsibilities, so it is very challenging.
Regular servicing can guarantee the smooth operation of the engine.
Regular servicing can guarantee the smooth operation of the engine.
He studies and observes the behavior of babies and has written many articles about it.
He studies the behavior of babies and has written many articles about it.
The tension between the two countries is likely to remain.
The tension between the two countries is likely to remain.
You have to be able to describe things in a form that users can understand.
You have to be able to describe things in a form that users can understand.
The interview only took 10 minutes, but it felt like hours.
The interview only took 10 minutes, but it felt like hours.
But for these things that we actually do really care about and do experience profound regret around, what does that experience feel like? Well, we all know the short answer, right? It feels terrible. Regret feels awful. But it turns out that regret feels awful in 4 very specific and consistent ways. So the first consistent component of regret is basically denial. When I went home that night after getting my tattoo, I basically stayed up all night, and for the first several hours, there was exactly one thought in my head, and the thought was, make it go away. This is an unbelievably primitive emotional response. I mean, it's right up there with, I want my mommy. And we're not trying to solve the problem. We're not trying to understand how the problem came about. We just want it to vanish. The second characteristic component of regret is a sense of bewilderment. So the other thing I thought about there in my bedroom that night was, how could I have done that? What was I thinking? It's this real sense of alienation from the part of us that made a decision we regret. We can't identify with that part. We don't understand that part. And we certainly don't have any empathy for that part, which explains the third consistent component of regret, which is an intense desire to punish ourselves. That's why in the face of our regrets, the thing we consistently say is, I could have kicked myself. The fourth component here is that regret is what psychologists call perseverative. To perseverate means to focus obsessively and repeatedly on the exact same thing. Now, the effect of perseveration is to basically take these first three components of regret and put them on an infinite loop. So it's not that I sat there in my bedroom that night thinking, make it go away. It's that I sat there and I thought, make it go away, make it go away, make it go away, make it go away. So if you look at the psychological literature, these are the four consistent defining components of regret.
So try to note down the phrases in the retail lecture. The speaker was discussing psychological literature. He talked about the experience feel like. He mentioned that for specific inconsistent ways. He highlighted that stayed up all night. He discussed that this is unbelievable response. He also talked about problems came about just it vanished. He suggested that make it go away. Overall, the lecture was very informative.
What is the part that is inside a nut's or a seed's shell?
Kernel.
What do we call a student who works for a period of time at a job to get experience?
Intern.
Which device allows us to see very tiny things like bacteria?
Microscope.
What do we call the subject related to financial considerations?
Economics.
What do you call a device, operated by the foot, for controlling the speed of cars?
Accelerator.
What do we call the money that you regularly pay to the landlord?
Rent. It summarized spoken text. Also try to note down the phrases in the summarized spoken text because it is somewhat similar to the retail lecture.
Sweetened condensed milk is a good ingredient for sweet recipes because of all the added sugar, about 25% by weight. But when sweetened condensed milk was invented in the 1800s, the original reason for adding sugar to the milk was not for flavor, but for protection against spoilage. And it works. Even after you open the can, sweetened condensed milk keeps longer than fresh milk. That added sugar kills bacteria that would otherwise digest the milk and spoil it. The sugar kills not by poisoning the bacteria, but by a more direct physical process. It draws water out of the bacteria so the bacterial cells shrivel and die. Each bacterial cell has a sort of skin, technically a membrane. Water can pass through this membrane pretty easily, but substances dissolved in the water can't. Water has a natural tendency to move toward any region where there's a high concentration of dissolved substances. A bacterial cell in a can of sweetened condensed milk finds itself immersed in an extremely concentrated solution of sugar. Water inside the cell will, therefore, pass out through the cell membrane into the sugar solution. The bacterial cell dehydrates and dies in the sea of sugary water. Sugar added to fruit has the same effect. That's the idea behind fruit preserves. Other foods are preserved with salt, exploiting the same principle.
So first try to find out the main topic of the lecture. So according to me, the main topic of the lecture is, first is a brief lecture was presented on sweetened condensed milk. So this is the main topic of the lecture according to me. You can also compare your topic. The speaker was mainly talking about the original reason for adding sugar to milk. You can check your phrase also. Next is, but he also covered. Complete your line with the full stop and start the next line with the capital letter. But he also covered more direct physical processes check your spellings as well. Then he quoted some examples for better clarification. Later on, he also discussed good ingredients for sweet recipes, recipes. Finally, the speaker check your word limit also. It's 51. You can write up to 70 words. Finally, the speaker summed up his lecture and concluded that sugar is added to food also. Sugar is added to food also. So now total words are 65. Now proofreading is very important in summarized spoken text. So this is the line of the template a brief lecture was presented on. Now this is the main topic, sweetened condensed milk. Next, complete your line with the full stop, then give a space, then start the next line with the capital letter. The speaker was mainly talking about, this is the line of the template about, then the original reason for adding sugar to milk, this is the phrase from the audio. Now complete your line with full stop, then give a space. But he also covered, this is the line of the template. Now this is the phrase, more direct physical processes. Now it's physical, then you have to use S with the process. Now give a space, then he quoted some examples for better clarification. This is the line from the template. Then complete your line with full stop, give a space, then later on comma, then give space. He also discussed, now this is the line of the template. You can use the same template as well. Good ingredients for sweet recipes. Check your spellings of recipes. Now full stop, space, then finally the speaker summed up his lecture and concluded that. This is the line from the template up to that. Now sugar is added to food also. So according to me, this is the template and I think these phrases are enough for content. Now click on the next button. MCQ multiple answers below are true.
There are at least 5 hotspots of floating plastic in the global ocean. These are gyres where circulating currents trap debris. This one, the so-called Great Pacific Garbage Patch, is the largest, with almost 80,000 tonnes distributed over 600,000 square miles. The scientists teamed up with a charity that collects old fishing gear and other litter from the ocean and gathered hundreds of plastic items to study in the lab. They found plants and animals, including anemones, tiny marine bugs, mollusks, and crabs, on 90% of the debris they examined. As well as creating a semi-permanent floating habitat for coastal species in the open ocean, the researchers say all this plastic could be providing invasive species with rafts that allow them to cross the Pacific. This, they say, is yet another unintended consequence of plastic pollution for the ocean.
So I am confused in the answers, so I am just sure about option D. So this task has a negative marking. So in which option you are sure, then only tick that option. So I am sure in option D. You can choose your options as well. Click on the next button. Listening, filling the blanks. Put your cursor in the first blank.
The government of the Spanish region of Catalonia has contradicted an assertion by the central authorities in Madrid that the jihadist cell behind twin attacks in Catalonia had been dismantled. The Interior Minister in the Catalan regional government, Joaquim Forn, said Catalan police were heading the inquiry and detectives were still searching for at least one suspect. At Turkey's request, the Spanish authorities have arrested the German-Turkish writer Doğan Akanlı. Mr. Akanlı, who's written extensively in Turkey's human rights record, is a critic of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
So you can check from the paragraph. In the first blank it has, so we use third form here. In third blank again it has have, so we use again third form here. So here it is the, with the we can use here noun. So in the first blank, according to me, the option is contradicted. contradicted. You can check your spellings. contradicted, contradicted. Next is the inquiry. enquiry. You can write the inquiry with I also, and you can also write with E also. enquiry. Next is arrested. arrested with have third form of verb means ed form. Now it has extensively. 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 Check your spellings of extensively, arrested, inquiry and contradicted. Move to next question. Put your cursor in the first blank.
The U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, recently announced additional assistance to support achieving the goals outlined in the bilateral Development Objectives Assistance Agreement between the U.S. and Nigerian governments signed in 2015. $25 million will strengthen good governance by supporting state governments' efforts to bolster Nigeria's open government partnership commitments to improve transparency and fight corruption. An additional $1.5 million will support a healthier, more educated population in targeted states through the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, also known as PEPFAR, for a total of $26.5 million in additional assistance.
So in first it's achieving, ACHIEVING, achieving. Now in the second blank it's signed. Speaker was discussing about the year 2015, so you can guess from here the sentence, the word is of third form of verb, signed, SIGNED, signed. Next is strengthen, ENGTHEN, strengthen. First write the strength, then EN, STRENGTHEN. Next is to improve transparency, Check your spellings of transparency. And last one is targeted. G-E-T-E-D. T-A-R-G-E-T-E-D. Check your spellings. Proofreading is very important in listening, filling the blanks. Move to next question. This is the third paragraph.
The United States and South Korea announced late Saturday the two countries will end annual large-scale joint military exercises as part of diplomatic efforts to achieve complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. In a statement, the Pentagon said Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan and South Korea's Minister of National Defense, in a phone call Saturday, decided to end the Key Resolve and Full Eagle series of exercises. The decision comes 3 days after a summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam that ended without an agreement to resolve the North Korean nuclear crisis. Seoul's defense ministry released a similar statement, according to the Associated Press.
So in the first answer is annual, A-N-N-U-A-L, annual. Next is diplomatic. Check your spellings of diplomatic. Students got confused with A and E. It's A. Next is decided. And in the fourth one, it is summit. S-U-M-M-I-T, summit. And last one is agreement. So check your spellings of annual, then diplomatic, decided, summit, then agreement. This is highlight correct summary.
One of the great contributing factors to mental illness is the idea that we should at all costs and at all times be well. We suffer far more than we should because of how long it can take many of us until we allow ourselves to fall properly and usefully ill. In a crisis, our chances of getting better rely to a significant extent on having the right relationship to our illness. An attitude which is relatively unfrightened by our distress, which isn't overly in love with the idea of seeming at all times normal, which can allow us to be deranged for a while, in order one day to reach a more authentic kind of sanity. It will help us immensely in this quest if the images of mental illness we can draw on at this time do not narrowly imply that our ailment is merely a freakish and pitiable possibility. If we can appeal to images that tease out the universal and dignified themes of our state, so that we do not, on top of everything else, have to fear and hate ourselves for being unwell.
So according to me, the correct summary is the option B, because in the conclusion the speaker was discussing about fear or hate it when we feel unwell. So you can check your answer as well. Move to next question.
In your role as a financial therapist, you've got sort of a 5-step process for something that you call financial intimacy. I'm wondering if you can help us define that and talk us through it?
So with the first one, equality, what we want to capture here in a healthy financial dynamic is that both partners have equal say and equal power about what's going to happen with the money. So sometimes when a couple comes to me with an equality imbalance, there's a partner that either has maybe is bringing in the bulk of the income and then thus feels like they should have more say. Or sometimes there's a partner that's just more anxious about money and so really needs money to be a source of control for them and feels like their partner is just in not agreeing with them and not doing what they say should be done with the money, that this is threatening to them and they want their partner to kind of come to heel, if you will. So where I would approach that is, all right, well, we need to have both parties present in the decisions about the money. Just because you're more anxious or because you make more of a contribution to the income doesn't mean that you get an outsized say.
So question is, this is MCQ single answer. According to the financial therapist, why does a couple experience the inequality imbalance? So we have to just find out the answer of this question. So according to me, the correct answer is here, because one contributes more to the income and believes this gives more say. You can check your answer as well. Check your answer according to the question. This task has no negative marking and it's the least contributor in the listening section. Select missing word.
Avalanches are a constant threat on mountain highways. The Rogers Pass stretch of the Trans-Canada is at risk of being buried in snow from November to April every year. This is why the highway now has a sophisticated defense system. The best way, it's important to control an avalanche when it's small. So a slide is set off while it's still small before it builds up into a serious danger. A team of snow technicians monitors the snowpack. They sort of read the snow and try to predict when it's likely to slide. They study data from the weather stations in the mountains. As the danger increases, they drop explosives onto test slopes to see if the snow can be made.
I think the correct option is melt. I got confused in this audio.
The theory of personality types suggests there are pairs of what are known as type preferences. Type preferences are not the same as character traits that can be worked on and changed. Rather, they're preferred ways of being in the world, different ways of experiencing daily life. One well-known pair of type preferences is extroversion-introversion. Some people are extroverts and some are introverts. Extroverted people are by nature continuously aware of events outside of themselves. Extroverts turn outward to the world around them to pick up ideas, values, and interests. Extroverts, therefore, usually have a variety of interests and sort of take an active approach to life. Introversion is just the opposite. Introverts look inward for resources. Introverts pursue fewer interests, but on a much deeper level. They sort of take a reflective approach to life. What I mean is they involve themselves in inner events, ideas, and impressions. Introverted people usually prefer to learn in private.
So the audio was about introverts. So they learn in an individual's way. According to the main topic of the audio, the answer is individual ways. So I am sure in this answer. You can check your answer as well. Now this is highlight incorrect words. So this task has a negative marking, so do it carefully.
Iron is a great material for making tools, but the oldest known iron artifacts were actually intended for decoration, 9 Egyptian beads that date back to 3200 BC. And now we know that this ancient jewelry has an even more impressive origin. The iron out of which it was crafted came from space. The metal cylinders were discovered in Egypt in 1911. To analyze the structure and chemical composition of the beads, researchers bombarded them with neutrons and gamma rays. The tests revealed that the jewelry contained trace elements not present in earthly ores, but that are found in iron-rich meteorites. The study is in the Journal of Archaeological Science. The meteoric metal was hammered flat and rolled into beads more than 5,000 years ago. This date is some 1,500 years before the invention of smelting. That technique made it possible for terrestrial iron to be shaped into tools and to supplant copper and bronze as civilization's metal of choice. The new finding shows that long before smelting revolutionized tool use, some humans were already Iron Men.
So
Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American 60-Second Science, I'm Sophie Bushwick.
So these are the words: jerks, second one is this, third one is this, then this is the fourth one, and this is the next one, and suspension and double speak. This is the second paragraph of highlight incorrect words.
Elephants don't need cell phones to hold long-distance conversations. Their deep calls can travel miles. And although humans can't always hear these vocalizations because of their low frequency, elephants produce them using the same mechanism that lets humans speak and sing. That finding is in the journal Science. Until now, scientists did not know whether the elephant made sound the way we speak or differently, such as the way cats purr. A human produces noises because the vocal cords vibrate automatically when air flows past, but a cat must actively squeeze the muscles of its larynx to produce its deep, rhythmic purr. When a zoo elephant died of natural causes, researchers took the animal's larynx to their lab and ran air through it to find out which method elephants use to make sound. They could reproduce the large mammal's low-frequency rumble, which means that an elephant doesn't need to actively control its larynx like a cat does. For those who contend that this is irrelevant...
Irrelevant? There's a whole lot of relevance in the circus.
So first one is this is the second one, third one is field workers, and this is the heterogeneity. So in this paragraph only 4 words were incorrect. This is the third paragraph. Put your cursor in the middle.
Just when you thought you'd heard everything, scientists have found that the reason you can hear everything, including things that are very quiet, is because your ears have tiny tube-like motors that mechanically amplify sounds. You've probably heard that it's the hair cells in your ears that allow you to hear. These cells sport tufts of spiky hairs that are like little molecular mohawks. When sound waves enter the ear, these hairs vibrate, and that motion then gets translated into an electrical message that tells your brain there's something worth listening to. But the movement of those hairs isn't passive, like tall grass swaying in the breeze. The electrical signals they produce feed back on the system, causing the hairs to tilt even more. It's that so-called flexoelectric effect that boosts the audio signal and amplifies the sound. Findings published in the April 22nd issue of the journal Public Library of Science 1. The scientists behind the study also note that the length of the hairs in different species explains why animals like bats can detect such high-frequency sounds. It doesn't, however, explain why your kids can hear their cell phones vibrate 2 rooms away, yet they never seem to hear a word you say.
So this is the first one, and this is the third one, and this is the taught, and this is the onset. So this is the also a sentence, non-electrical, because I was confused in electrical or non-electrical. Write from dictation. Keep your pen and notepad ready.
Our students study not only local history, but also foreign literature.
So sentence is, our students study not only local history but also foreign literature. So if you are confused in student and students, because sentence is starting from R, so from R you can guess easily here the word is student. Start your line with capital letter. R means O capital. Study, if you are confused in study or studies, then you can write the both, but I am confident our student studies not only local history but also foreign literature. So I am adding here a, an, and the extra. So you can check your spellings: literature, foreign, history, students, local. Next button.
The author of the lecture is well known to the public.
This line is very easy. The author of the literature is well known to public. So I am adding here the, a, and an extra. So according to me, the sentence is the author of the literature is well known to public. So you can check your spellings of well, W-E-L-L, then known, K-N-O-W, and known, then again literature, then author. So you can add 2 to 3 words extra in every sentence, but don't write more than 3 words extra. This is the third question of write from dictation.
Your training includes developing skills in communication and problem solving.
Your training includes, so I am confused in include and includes, so I am writing here both. Include and includes. Your training includes developing skills in communication. Check your spellings of communication, developing, and problem solving. Close your sentence with full stop. Your training include developing skills in communication and problem solving. So I am adding here the and a. The and a and include is the extra words in this sentence. You can check your answer sentence as well.
After years of work, scholars have acquired much useful information.
Sentences: after years of work, scholars have, because here it is years of work, so according to years you can guess here, scholars have acquired much useful information. I am adding here the and a. Information, F. After years of work, scholars have acquired much useful information. So click on the next button. Submitting answers, check result. It will take some time. Now you can check my score. In listening it's 88 and in reading it's 10, speaking 37, writing 48, because we are doing the listening live mock test, so its score is 88. Then you can check my answers as well. In summarized spoken text it's 9.9. Point 1 is missing in the content part. And this is the MCQ multiple answers. Option is B and D, but my answer was only D. Now these are the answers of listening, filling the blanks. Check your answers and spellings. Contradicted, inquiry, arrested, extensively. Second is achieving, sign, strengthen, transparency, and targeted. And this is annual, diplomatic, decided, summit, and agreement. This is the answer of third, listening, filling the blanks. And this is the highlight correct summary. Correct option is B. And this is MCQ single answer. Correct option is C. Select missing word. First is, correct answer is B, slide. Next is individual phase. Select missing word, second question. This is the highlight incorrect words. Total 7 words were incorrect in first paragraph. And this is the second paragraph of highlight incorrect words. Total 4 words incorrect. This is the third paragraph of highlight incorrect words, and total 5 words were incorrect. This is right from dictation. First sentence is, our students study not only local history but also foreign literature. This is the second sentence. The author of the lecture is well known to the public. So one mistake in right from dictation, here it is lecture because I wrote literature. This is the third sentence. Your training includes developing skills in communication and problem solving. After years of work, scholars have acquired much useful information. So don't forget to like and share these videos and subscribe to my channel. For online and offline classes, you can contact me. My number is given in the caption. And thank you so much for watching this video.